Órale. Cholo Choco, los tres chingones. Boxing shots to all the chingones y chingonas. Let me fix this a little bit more. There we go. All right, man. Lot going on. It's fight week finally for the heavyweight championship of the world, Holmes. All right. But we got a lot to talk about. Let's go ahead and bring in El Maestro, the boxing scientist from Mikey TV1, Mr. Mike Zavala.
What it is? What's up, Ed? Let's go.
I
Let's get it.
Yeah, just here to get it in, Holmes. And David will be joining us in just a second. He just stepped away. He was in here, but he just stepped away for just a minute, man. So he'll be getting in here in just a second or two. What's up, JC? I'm leaning Usyk. Wow, 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 wow. Well, we'll definitely get into to all that. A lot of news that's going on as well. But you know what? Let's go ahead and let's talk about the fight that happened over the weekend. Um, Lomachenko Kambosos in the Thunder Down Under, south of the equator. I was thinking about it. Like, man, is Lomachenko still the Lomachenko or not? Mikey, what did you see in that fight, Holmes? And what's your outcome of it, man?
Yeah, man. Wow. Wow. That's one word that could describe what I've seen, man. Uh, dude, he looks at 135. He's a problem, man. He's a little older, but he stopped him. I thought it was going to be a little bit more difficult. I thought Kambosos was going to make the fight a little ugly. He couldn't do anything, dude. He was going up, down, left, right, to the side. Man, what a performance, man. What a performance. And Tank Davis and 135, whoever's at 35, they're in serious problem, man. Loma's still good, still at it, man.
Did you give Kambosos a round or two or three? Did you give him any rounds?
Maybe a round or two. I was kind of like leaning for him. I was the only guy in the room going for Kambosos. Like I wanted him to win. So I was like, not to win, to do good, because I called it. I was like, nah, Kambosos is gonna do good. And I had faith in him, but I give him 2 rounds, Ed. 2 rounds. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Man, I'm a Lomachenko fan. I am. I do like Lomachenko. It sucked for me when he took that time off to go to his country for the war. I'm like, damn, man, I really want to see this guy fight, and I know time is of the essence because he's just getting older. So I was just kind of like, okay, if Lomachenko, and I said it, I said if Lomachenko still looks like Lomachenko, man, I still probably favor him at 135 over everybody. Maybe we'll see and what I saw, footwork, his movements, laterals, angles. I did not see a Lomachenko that got older. I did not see a Lomachenko that looked any different. He still got speed. He still got some great footwork, comes at you from all kinds of different angles. Kambosos looked confused in there. He looked like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do, man, other than just be as tough as I can and just make it to the end of the fight. But he just looked confused, like like he did not know what to do in that fight. And Kambosos is not that great of a fighter, though. But let's bring David in here and let's ask him, Gran Chingón, el mero mero, what did you think about Loma's performance, David?
Hey guys, Dispensa. I got a quick call from Mexico, so I just got to just talk real quick. Dispensa. I took off during the show.
It's all
man.
good.
Hey,
It's all good,
what was the question again?
Lomachenko Kambosos. What was your thoughts on Lomachenko's performance?
Like I said, man, last week I said it was going to be a part 3 of Loma and Kambosos and Haney. I said it was going to be a part 3. I said that he was not. Yeah, I said, you know what? He's not even going to touch Loma. Loma's just going to outbox him. You know what I mean? It's going to go 12 rounds. I didn't call that one right because, he took him out in the 11th round. But like I said, you know what? It's going to be part 3, man. Loma is too good. And you know what? He hasn't aged. And like I said also last week was A 36 Loma is a 26 Jaime Munguia, 27 Jaime Munguia. Loma has never drank, has never smoked, has never partied. That guy lives for boxing every day. He lives a very clean life. He's not a 26-year-old Garcia. He's definitely not a Garcia, man. I mean, this guy lives a clean life. And you know what? I think he could be undisputed. Literally, I believe he could beat Tank. He could beat Haney. I think he could beat them all. He already beat Haney, but they gave the fight to Haney. Loma looked great.
Hey, well, let me tell you something. The whole thing of him not drinking, partying, smoking, whatever, he comes and kicks it with los tres chingones. We'll change that, Holmes. We'll change that. but Mikey, let me go ahead and ask you this, dog. Who made it look easier, Devin Haney or Lomachenko against Kambosos?
Shit, I think Lomachenko because he stopped him.
Yeah.
Lomachenko made it look easy because he stopped him, man. Oh man, I doubted him, and hey, but I'm gonna tell you the truth when I'm wrong, and I was wrong. I doubted him. I'm like, dude, Loma's old already. It's a wrap. Like, nah, man, he looked better. He made it look easy work. Easy work.
Okay, so look, I text you guys. I left you guys a voice text after, and I had said this Lomachenko beats everybody at 135. David, you just said it right now. Can you think of anybody at 135? I mean, there's a lot of good dudes. I mean, a fight that was announced, this week with William Zepeda. We'll get to that in just a second. But is there anybody across all promotions at 135 where you would say this guy will beat Lomachenko?
Believe it or not, I think Cepeda would give Lomachenko a great fight.
Mm.
And I think Tank Davis would give him a great fight. But other than that, Teofimo, no, other than that, I don't see anybody, man. I mean, I don't even see, what's his name? The 140 champ, the one that everybody's afraid of from Puerto Rico.
Matias.
Yeah, but he's at 140. But at 135, the only one that I see giving him problems is Camarón. I see Camarón giving him problems because Camarón will attack, will not stop. These other guys are boxers. You know what I mean? Shakur, easy money for Loma against Shakur. As a matter of fact, I believe Shakur would give him a good fight because he's not afraid of Loma's punch like he was afraid of De Los Santos. De Los Santos hits like a mule. But Mikey, like you said, Clambosos, like JC says, he's never been down before. He's never been down before. And Loma took him down. So you know what? Loma's stronger than what we believe. So if he took him down, I see Shakur, easy money. Not easy money, but I think he beats Shakur.
And it's not like Loma is a huge 135 pounder. He's a pretty small guy for 135. Hey,
Yeah.
Mikey, if you had to pick a name or a few names for somebody that will beat, where you're like, no, this guy will beat Lomachenko at 135 across all promotions, man. De Los Santos, I mean, that's a name to throw out there. William Zepeda, everybody talks about Shakur Stevenson, Tank Davis. Is there anybody at 135 where you're like, you know what, this guy will beat Lomachenko?
I don't know why I like De Los Santos. I think that'd be a good fight, man. De Los Santos is fast. His footwork is good. He's a southpaw versus a southpaw. That's detrimental, man. That's hard. So I think it'll give Lomachenko problem because he's a southpaw. So I think that'll be a good fight right there. A chess match, and whoever makes a mistake, they both have power. De Los Santos has great power. Another one, Tank, right? The southpaw with the southpaw. Who's gonna be the smarter guy? And I give the edge to Loma. The experience, he has power, IQ, everything. So I'm gonna give it to Loma. Who else? And Cepeda, another southpaw. Jesus Christ! Oh man, they're all southpaws, man. Those are great matches. Great matches.
What about Murataya?
Murataya last performance, he didn't convince me. He couldn't make weight. He can't make weight no more. Dave, I don't think he's going to be at 135 anymore. He even said it in the post fight interview. He said, "I can't make the weight. It was a weight." So he'll get stopped, man, because he's going to be weak. Yeah, he didn't look good because of the weight. So I'm not gonna name him. I'm not gonna name him. But those three fighters, and they're all southpaws. Southpaw versus southpaw. That's gonna be fire, man.
Hey guys, what do you guys think about Navarrete? Navarrete is going to win tomorrow. And
No,
now
hey, Dave, his opponent's good. His opponent's good.
dude, his opponent is
We'll,
terrible. Did you see his record? We'll talk about it.
we'll
Dude, I
get to
think my
that. Yeah.
about his
Unless I
opponent.
didn't look at the right one.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Look. I would
I
say
don't
this.
feel like getting my computer right now.
Yeah.
I'm
Something
looking.
that separates Lomachenko against the rest, in my opinion, is his footwork, man. His footwork is impeccable. And as long as he could stay young for his older age, I don't see anybody beating him. If he gets old overnight, which does happen in boxing, you can
Yeah.
get old overnight. But as long as he can stay young at his age, I don't see anybody. I think there's some good names out there that I would, give them a chance. But to say hands down, I think this fighter beats him. No, I don't think there's anybody out there. Are there names? If somebody says, okay, but you have to choose one where you're gonna bet your money and you can't bet on Loma, who would it be? Um, Damn, maybe it would be not William Zapata, just because how much he keeps throwing, and maybe at Lomachenko's older age, he might get tired of so much pressure and having to move around so damn much. But his conditioning, man, is extreme. He moves around like it's and the way he works out is crazy. So I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of bet on that. But outside of that, I'm not saying that he goes in there and dominates everybody.
No,
I
he's
think
not.
I think a lot. Yeah, I think a lot of these guys give him a good fight. I just don't think any of them beat him as long as he stays a young 36, a young 37, and doesn't get old overnight. Uh, David, is Cambosis done? Does anybody want to see Cambosis again? Do you want to see him in there against the ring? He made his name off Teofimo Lopez. He lost twice to Devin Haney. He lost to Lomachenko. Eh, is this it for Cambosis? Does he still get another payday? Does he still sell out in Australia? Will anybody even go fight him in Australia anymore? I mean, there was really no reason really to go to the Thunder Down Under to fight him anymore. David, what's up with Cambosis? Is it over?
I'm not a fan, man. I talked about it last week. I'm not a fan. You know what? Let him stay in Australia and let him fight on Twitter with Ryan. For Ryan's now saying that he screwed his wife. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I hope he stays in Australia, lives the rest of his life in Australia, or since he had the Greek anthem played at the fights and he's an Australian citizen, let him move to Greek and let him go over there, retire, and run up and down Mount Everest or whatever mountains they have over there. But I don't want to see him again. Not in America. He's not worth my time. He's done, and but he could be a club fighter in Greece, or in Australia. He's good over there.
Okay. All right, Mikey, same question, man. I mean, the only reason people were going to Australia was because he had the titles. That's why Devin Haney went down there.
Yeah.
The rematch clause drug Devin Haney back down there again. Is there any reason for anybody to go over there? Or if he comes over here, is there any action for him or anything like that?
Yeah, he's a name. No matter what, he's a name. You feed him to the young bucks, the young incomers, the hot prospects. That's a name under your belt. Cambosis, you know what I mean? Cambosis is good, but he's not good enough for the top level. But feed it to the young bucks, the young assassins coming up, the young stars coming up, and see, and he'll give you a fight. Like what's the name? The kid from Texas, Kid Austin. Feed him to him. To the kid from that has the Robert
Hey,
Garcia. We just talked about it.
Kid Austin might be losing on July 11th. We'll
Who's
talk
he
about.
fighting? Okay,
He's fighting a guy named. I had it written down, and I did my homework on him. That's going to be a damn good fight. He might be
okay,
losing on that one. It's a nobody, but yet it's a somebody.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
it's going to be a good fight. Very good fight on the
okay,
Tyson Jake Paul fight. It's going to be on that
okay,
card.
okay.
Oh, okay. All right. Cambosis has kind of earned himself a little bit of a name. Did he really earn it? No, he really didn't earn it. but nonetheless, he has it. He's a somewhat notable name, kind of like a Rolly Romero, sort of like. Did Rolly
Yeah.
really earn? Did he earn his name? No, but he's a notable name now. So I'm with you, Mikey. You can use Comboses and feed them to a couple of young up and comers just so they could say he beat a notable name. Did he beat
Former
a
champion,
good? Yeah,
undisputed
did he
champion.
beat a former champion? Exactly. No, my young fighter beat a former, champion in Comboses. Was he really ever that great? No, but at least it looks good. And I would say the big money fight is put him in there against Ryan Garcia. If Cambosis moves up to one, if Cambosis would move up to 140 with all this massa going back and forth, hey, I'm sorry, but this is where boxing is at. That would be a big major fight. It just would, with all the beef and I was with his wife and this and that. People will pay to watch it. It's a complete WWE show, but it will definitely sell. Yes, it will definitely
Yeah.
sell.
Hey Ed, but he's gonna have to stand in line because Ryan is challenging David Benavides, is challenging Errol Spence, is challenging Boots Ennis. So he's gonna have to wait in line, man, because there's too many challenges out right now.
Well, let's see what happens with Lomachenko. Before we move on, David, do we see Lomachenko before the year's over?
I think so.
Okay,
Yeah, I think so. I
okay,
think, believe it or not, I think he'll probably end up fighting Navarrete. I think that's probably going to be his next fight.
okay.
That'd be a damn good fight.
Mikey, do we see Lomachenko before the year's over?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, this fight was easy work, man. I hope so. We still got a long way to the end of the year. So hopefully, yeah, yeah, we'll see him.
Yeah, I hope to see him. Like I said, I am a Lomachenko fan. Time is of the essence. You don't want to just keep this guy just sitting and waiting. Let's get him into some really good fights and some really notable fights. So hopefully, man, maybe he gets in there against Shakur. We'll see what happens. But gentlemen, moving right along. Yes, we do have some fights tomorrow, but before we get into those, let's go ahead and let's get to a fight that was announced this week. Um, I just heard of it. I think this is a badass fight, and I want Los Tres Chingones Boxing to be there. I'm putting in to get my credentials. That is William Camaron Zepeda against Giovanni Cabrera, July 6th. The return of Camaron. Man, Mikey, what do you make of this fight, man? William Zepeda is back in the ring against Giovanni Cabrera. He only has one loss, and that's against Pitbull Cruz.
Giovanni Cabrera, I gotta look him up. That one, it sounds familiar, Ed. It sounds familiar, Giovanni Cabrera. Um, I gotta double check on that one. But yeah, William, he's exciting, man. He's exciting. He's a fan friendly fighter. So I'm down to see him. They're gonna fight right here in LA.
They're gonna fight at the Toyota Arena in Ontario.
Oh,
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I'll be there either with credentials or as a fan. Either way, man, I will be there. I think it's gonna be a great atmosphere. David, what do you make of this fight?
I'm not that excited about it because when you mentioned Giovanni Cabrera, I could picture him in my mind. And I remember seeing that fight against Pitbull. He is a tough character, but that's the only fight that I know of him.
Mm.
So, I mean, I'm not really, it's a no name. He is very tough, but just to see Camaron in there again, just throw 1,000 punches for literally 1,100 punches fight, it'd be exciting. But he must be good to put him in there to headline for Golden Boy. Looking forward to it. You can't get a bad fight with Camaron. You cannot get a bad fight, no matter who he fights.
Right, right. Okay, so here's the thing. What Dimitri was saying, Cabrera took Cruz's biggest punches, yes, and JC saying it's a great scrap, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay, so look, is it a good fight? Because I think it's a toss-up fight, and Giovanni Cabrera stands a chance to win. No, I don't think Cabrera is going to win this fight. I don't really give him much of a shot. Is it a good fight because Cabrera's gonna is a tough mofo and is gonna put up a damn good fight up against Zepeda? Yes, yes, but make no doubt about it. This fight is definitely made for Zepeda to win against a guy that's not gonna quit, that can take all your punches, and he's gonna give it back. So Zepeda, while yes, I believe he's gonna win hands down. He's gonna have to work, which he doesn't mind working. He does not mind working. He just keeps on punching. So that's what will make it a fun fight. And I'm with you, David. There's really no such thing as a boring fight when it comes to
Yeah.
William Zepeda and Giovanni Cabrera, because he's just a tough mofo. He's gonna make it that much more exciting. So but I don't think Giovanni stands a chance against William Zepeda. Guys, before we get into the fights tomorrow, there was a lot going on with the fight that might with the Tank Davis Frank Martin fight of, hey man, is there a rematch clause? Is there not? Is the WBA doing this? There's a talk about 10 pounds, there's talk about 12 pounds. So they said that the contract was made before all this. Looks like the WBA wants to put in a rehydration clause. Just all the way around, just in all the sanctioning bodies. Mikey, do you think that there should be some sort of rehydration clause instead of dudes ballooning up 25 pounds, the next day? Do you think there should be something of like a 10, 12 pound rehydration clause just all the way across the board?
Yeah, I think so. I seen enough. Enough is enough. Like, there's dudes that they just there's science to it, right? You drink a whole bunch of water and you use the water to drain yourself, and then you rehydrate and you come super heavy. The Benavides and people like that, like they don't belong in that weight class, and they're taking advantage and fighting smaller fighters and winning fights. So I'm getting tired of it. Weight bullies, is that what we call them? So yeah, they should 10 pounds, 12 pounds, rehydration clause. They should have it. And then is it the same day weigh-ins that they have them back in the day, something like that? I'm down with
Yeah.
that too. Yeah, I'm down with that, man. Enough is enough.
Yeah. David, do you think just all the way across the board there needs to be some rehydrate? It doesn't need to be 10 pounds or 12 pounds. Like, it could be even be 15 pounds. But does there need to be some sort of cap where it's like, okay, look, you're fighting at this weight class. We're not going to allow you to come in 20, 25, 30 pounds over the weight class. It's not going to happen. Does something like that need to be ruled in?
It's never going to happen. Number one, they changed that rule for that fight. By the way, it was just changed. If you look it up, it was just changed. They wanted to implement that. They did not. Somehow, Tank got it dismissed, or his staff did. But if I had a dream come true, I would go back how they used to. The fighters had to weigh in at 9 o'clock in the morning, that morning of the fight. That would make it fair. They should go back to that. And the reason why they changed it was because they got a chance to make more money the day before during the weigh-ins, whether they were charging, selling shirts, whatever merchandise. That's one of the reasons why. And they also said that it was detrimental to the fighters. But I believe that they should make it mandatory nationwide that they should weigh in that morning. That would be a little more fair than what we're seeing today. Because I agree with you, Mikey. These weight bullies, what I'm reading today, I was listening to Robert Garcia on an interview, and he was talking about, how hard it was for him to make weight. And I mean, literally, these guys like Haney, he should have never been fighting at 135. He should have been
Exactly.
fighting at 147. Ryan should have never been fighting at 135, even at 140. These guys are getting hurt because they're weight bullies. Even David Benavides, he should not be fighting at 168. The guy's 6'1", 6'2", and he's big bone. So they're weight bullies. Leave them at 175, have a cruiserweight, but start weighing them that early that morning, and then that makes it fair for everybody.
Yeah,
You
100%.
know, you know, um, People will say like, "Oh, you know what? They weigh in, and 24 hours later they fight." No, it's not 24 hours later because they actually weigh in Friday morning, and then there's a ceremony weigh-ins. But by the time they step into the ring, usually it's well over 30 hours
Mhm.
from the weigh-in to the fight. When we went to the Ryan Garcia Tank Davis fight party, with Ryan Garcia's family, I remember hearing the night before and even Saturday morning, his family's right there, and they're like, "Hey, because you guys, there was a rehydration, a 10-pound rehydration clause for the 136 catch weight that night, Friday night.
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia was out running wearing a sweatsuit so he can make the second weigh-in Saturday morning, the day of the fight, right? Because he had to weigh in for the rehydration clause. And I'm like, yeah, it's the night before your fight. You don't want to be out there doing that. It's like it's already, paralyzing you. These guys need to fight a little bit closer to whatever weight they're actually walking into the ring in. So do they should it happen? Yes. Is it gonna happen? Probably not. But if I had it my way, yeah, I would say, look, you gotta do some this science to it where you're completely depleting your body so you can make this weight and then balloon 25 pounds heavier, 30 pounds heavier. Like, nah, man, like what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like what are we doing? So I don't really like it, but yeah, JC, exactly. Almost a day and a half by the time they step into the ring. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, I'm not saying you can't go up a few pounds, but yeah, if I had it my way, I would say maybe 15-pound rehydration clause. I don't want to get it too strict. Hey, 5 pounds, but 15-pound max. Nobody needs to be coming in, 20, 25, 30 pounds over the weight limit. Like, what the heck are we doing here? And it's not healthy either for the fighters,
No,
man.
it's
But
not.
so we'll see what happens with that with the WBA. But fellas, man, let's go. And by the way, who brought it up? That was a fight that was made. Yes, I don't know if anybody knows, but yes, the rematch that everybody's been waiting for. It is official. I don't know if anybody knows this, but yes, it is a done deal. I'm not saying we're going to talk about this, but
In
just in case
Mexico, right?
nobody knows. Yeah, Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Vicious Victor Ortiz. The
Oh my
rematch.
God.
It is made,
And
man.
nobody showed up for the press conference.
I didn't think
Literally,
Floyd
no, they
showed up
said
either,
here.
right?
Floyd,
Nobody. It
Floyd
was in
didn't show up.
Mexico. Nobody showed up. Literally, nobody showed up.
well,
I don't even think Victor showed up. I don't even think Victor showed up.
Supposedly Victor showed up, but Floyd didn't show up
Well,
because
it was one
it's
of them.
supposed
Yeah.
they have him hostage in the Middle East because he owes money. I don't know if you guys heard all the cheeseman.
yeah, yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
oh my
yeah.
God, yeah. I don't know if it's true, but they're talking about it. Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
What do you guys think
It, it,
about that?
I, I think the cartels are gonna pay off the government in the Middle East so he could come to Mexico so he can make money there for Mexico, and then they're gonna turn him back over to the Middle East, Holmes.
Yeah, yeah, that he owes all kinds of money.
Yeah, and
That's
it's not
funny.
like Victor. Look, Victor Ortiz does not have a big fan base in Mexico, So
Nobody
I'm
even
not.
knows who he is, dude. No.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with this, but nonetheless, that fight is gonna be look. But I'm not gonna lie, just for fun and giggles, Holmes, I'm gonna watch it.
Well,
I'm
I
gonna
guess
watch.
not. He said he
Drinking,
heard he
drinking.
quit
He quit at the press conference.
press conference.
Gosh. All right, here comes all the jokes already, man. All right, gentlemen, let's get into some of the fights tomorrow, man. We have on the top rank ESPN. We got Navarrete versus Berwinchik. I know I'm butchering that, but look, we got an undercard. Okay, Richard Torres Jr., the heavyweight who looks like a 1977 porn star, is stepping into the ring. I don't know much about his opponent, this guy Moore. What I can tell you is that he is 30 years old. He's undefeated, 14 and 0 with 8 knockouts, and he is active. He already fought once this year. He fought 2 times last year. So he is active. Do I know much about him? No, I don't. But Mikey, let me ask you. People have been asking, hey, Torres needs to step it up, needs to step it up. This is going to be Torres, I believe, 10th fight. you don't want to ask too much of the guy, but isn't this a pretty good test? Yeah, maybe he's fighting a nobody, but he's fighting an undefeated nobody with some experience. What's your thoughts on this, Holmes?
For the record, Torres is with Top Rank, right?
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
is, right?
yeah.
Yeah, Top Rank. They know how to build stars. They know how to take care of their fighters. Yes, this is according to what you're saying, Ed. It's a good fight for Torres. They're not gonna give him too much for he can handle. Uh, just good enough because they know how to build stars and make stars. And Richard Torres, a heavyweight Latino, it's you can make some money off of that for sure. So I got Torres in this fight, but he's little by little they're making a star. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe this is a good move. It's an undefeated fighter. Maybe his record is a bunch of nobodies because I've never heard of this dude, but he's an undefeated fighter. He's got some experience under his belt. David, what do you make about this fight, or do you think they need to actually step it up more for Richard Torres?
You know what? Last three fights we've been talking about. At least I've been saying, step it up, step it up, step it up. But I guess Top Rank isn't listening. I'd like to see Torres fight Frank Sanchez. I think Torres is ready for Frank Sanchez, and it's easy money. We're going to start calling him Easy Money Torres. I like the kid. I like that he went to the Olympics. I was cheering for him at the Olympics. I believe he got silver. I remember watching him. He's small compared to those monsters, but I'm telling you, Easy Money Torres. Everybody, the last guy he fought weighed like 500 pounds, literally. He was the heaviest heavyweight ever, 395. So this guy's another bum. You know what I mean? Easy money. Show me Torres, a Torres that fights Frank Sanchez. That's what I want to see. Right? Not baby, the one that you like, Anderson, not him.
Yeah,
But let's
yeah.
go with Frank Sanchez, a step below. You know what I mean? I see Torres right now. I see him maybe C level, but they're giving him D level fighters. And I see Frank Sanchez maybe B minus, close to sea level. So I think that'd be a damn good fight. I would love to see Torres, and I believe Torres can beat Frank Sanchez. I believe he can. So let's step up. I'm tired of seeing him knock out these fat slobs. You know what I mean? It's going to be a
Okay,
knockout. I guarantee you it's going to be a knockout. So
okay,
step it up.
okay. And Paula, we're definitely gonna get to that man towards the end. Hey, shout out to Chicano too, man. Mike Diaz is in here. Saludos,
Oh,
to you,
what's up, Mike?
carnal. Um, you know what, David? I'm just gonna disagree with you, Holmes. I think you know
I'm in.
what. I mean, look, I think they're doing a good job, man. This is gonna be his 10th fight. You know, we don't need to keep building them. I'm with you, Joaquin. His opponent, Brandon Moore, who, yes, he's an undefeated fighter against whom? Against complete nobodies. Against complete nobodies. But the thing is, he does have some experience, you know. So am I giving Richard Torres a lot of credit for beating this guy? No, but at the same time, how much credit do I need to give Richard Torres in his 10th professional fight? I
I
think
mean,
putting him in the,
Lomachenko in
I,
his third fight,
I,
and he's
I,
an Olympic fighter, and his
okay.
third fight was fighting for a world championship. And then right now there's
Okay.
another guy, Cruz, who's in his
Mm,
like fourth fight, getting ready to fight for a world championship. Andy Cruz. So come
uh,
on, man. I mean, we're talking about somebody that fought in the Olympics, somebody that has experience. He's not just a nobody. I mean, like, aren't you tired of seeing him knock out these fat slobs? I mean, don't you want him to have at least some competition? I mean, it's our
I,
time that we're watching. We're paying for this. I mean, really, don't you want him to step up to somebody at least to hit him once and hurt him? We could say, hey, Navato could take a punch. Right now, we don't know if he could take a punch. He's never taken a punch.
I,
Think about
I
it.
okay, no, David, I'm with you. Eventually, yes,
Win,
eventually,
win,
yeah.
win,
I,
brother,
you,
win.
you, you know what? I'll tell you this. He stays pretty active. He stays pretty active. So I would
Yeah,
say,
fighting
I would say,
nobody.
yeah, okay, you're right. Hey, but so did Mike Tyson for many years. I would
Oh,
say,
yeah.
I would say, in his 15th fight, really step it up to an actual name. Right
So we have
now,
to see five more fights of him knocking these people out. Five more
well,
fights. He fights twice a year. So 3 more years of this.
well, look,
Really?
no, no, he stays more active than that. Look, Mikey,
Two,
no,
two a year.
So
Mikey said,
Zayas is Xander Zayas with Top Rank? Is he with Top Rank?
Yes,
Xander
yes,
Zayas?
Yes,
You
yes,
see,
Anderson.
that's
yes.
another guy that's he's Puerto Rican, a good looking kid, and he don't fight nobody. If you see, you tell me Zayas is gonna fight, you're like, yeah, he's gonna win. And that's what Torres, Mexican American. This is for the money, guys. This is for money. They don't want him to
Uh,
lose. He's a heavyweight Chicano, Mexican American. He's gonna sell. It's a business, and I'm with Dave, but I'm also understand Cholo Ed because it's a business, and they're trying to mold them. So yeah, boxing sometimes it could get ridiculous. Zayas hasn't fought nobody. He's still a prospect. He's like 30 years old. My bad, Ed, but
okay.
that's your boy.
No, in 5 years, I'm going to be dead. I'm 64 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, no. Look. There's a difference between Lomachenko. Lomachenko is probably the greatest amateur of all time. Almost 400 amateur fights.
Two gold
I'm
medals.
with. Yeah, I'm with you, David. You know, Richard Torres does have a good amateur background. You can move him up a little bit faster. I think this is the right direction. He's fighting an undefeated fighter. Yes, a nobody undefeated fighter. Let's see what he does in there. I don't think
Cholo,
they're.
Cholo, how do you think he
I'm
would
cool.
do against Frank Sanchez? Seriously, how do you think he would do? I
I
think he
think
would do
Sanchez
great.
beats him. I think
Oh
Sanchez
yeah, me
beats him.
too. I think Torres beats him. I mean, what
I
do you
think
think?
Sanchez.
What do you
I
think?
like Sanchez. I think
You know what?
Sanchez.
That's a toss up. Mikey thinks Sanchez will beat him. He
I
might.
don't think
I,
so, man. I
well,
think
we
I
it'd
don't.
be
think
a great
so.
fight. It'd be a
Okay,
great fight. Yeah,
okay, but
That'll be a good fight for the kid. A great fight for the kid.
yeah.
it would, but let's not Fernando Vargas this kid. Let's not Fernando
No,
Vargas
no.
this guy and make him bite off a little too much.
Yeah.
Let him get his confidence. Let him build his professional experience. I'm cool with him having three more fights like this. Uh, that's cool, and then we could really start stepping it up. But if he gets to 18-0, 20-0, and he's still having fights like this, then I'm not cool with this. Remember, gentlemen, he has not even been in a 12-round fight. This fight right here tomorrow, I believe it's only an 8-rounder. Let me see.
Oh my God, they're
So
super baby.
somebody let me know in the chat. Is
Eight
this
rounder, eight
not?
rounder. It's eight
It's an
rounder.
okay. It's an 8-round fight. It's only his 10th professional fight.
Yeah,
Top rank is building this kid. I don't have an issue with it. I'm gonna be patient with him. Time is, we're not rushing time here. I think this guy can be a great heavyweight eventually. And let's not forget, the Iron Mike Tyson was knocking out a bunch of bums, man, a bunch of bums back in his day, but he was getting a lot of coverage, right? And then when the competition really stepped up,
Brother,
Mike
he was
Tyson,
still knocking him out. He was
I,
still
I,
knocking him out.
yeah, okay,
Come
okay.
on. He was still knocking him out. Tell me somebody he didn't.
Yes, no, he's gonna be he's goes down as one of the all time greats, definitely.
Tyson.
Like yeah, yeah, one of the all time heavyweight greats. I'm not saying the greatest, but
Prison messed him up, man. Prison messed
okay,
him up.
what I am simply just saying is that his reputation was built more on a lot of nobodies that he beat. Richard Torres, this is his 10th fight. Let him have fights like this. Again, it's an undefeated guy. Who knows? This guy could surprise you. He's got experience.
And
This
I like Torres.
is
Don't get
Brandon
me
Moore.
wrong. I
Yeah.
like Torres. I really do. I like Torres. I just want to see him step it up. That's all. I like Torres.
No, yeah. Joaquin, I completely agree with you right there. He was definitely fighters back then were definitely fighting a heck of a lot more. Hey, gentlemen, in that same card, Giovanni Santillan is in there against Norman Jr. Giovanni Santillan, he really got more recognition once he beat Alexis Rocha because Santillan had this reputation of just being a boring fighter. But ever since the Alexis Rocha fight, people are a little bit more excited to see him. Like, oh man, you know what? That was an exciting fight. Uh, Mikey, do we see an exciting Giovanni Santillan? He's had a long reputation of like, man, I want to see this full fight. I don't care how great his record is because he's got a pretty decent record, but he's just boring to watch unless he fights Alexis Rocha. So, do we see an exciting Santillan tomorrow?
I think so. And I saw his opponent, Norman. What's his last name? Uh,
Norman Jr.
Norman Jr.
Brian Norman. Brian
Yeah.
Norman. Norman's his last name.
Yeah, if the one I saw in the highlights and I did a little, I went a box rec. Hey, this guy's pretty good. He's a banger. He just comes forward. It's gonna be, if Santillan is a boxer, he go out boxing. But if Santillan doesn't have no boxing skills, he's gonna be forced to fight, and it's gonna be a good fight. I think it's a good fight for him. Like I said, according to the highlights and the what I seen on that Norman guy, it's a good fight. He's young. He has 77% knockout ratio. And he comes forward. He just shoots and shoots and shoots. So I think it's gonna be a good fight for him.
Yeah, I mean, look, both of these guys are undefeated. Norman is 25-0. Santillan is 32-0. Santillan has a pretty damn good record, but nobody really likes watching him fight because he's a boring fighter, except for when he fought Alexis Rocha. David, Rocha was your guy, David. And Santillan went in there.
You're right.
Santillan went in there, and I was there for that fight. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Santillan came up to me and say, "Tell David Contreras to go scrape up his boy." I'm telling you, man.
And that kid's from San Diego too. Santillan,
Yeah.
San Diego. It's even
You know
worse.
what? You know what? I met him. We interviewed him on our last program. We interviewed him. Great kid. Lives in there in San Diego, but in Mira Mesa. Great kid with his mom and dad. Very respectful. I like Santillan. Very good kid. But let me tell you about his opponent.
Fight? Yeah.
Yeah, let me tell you about his opponent. Yeah, Mikey, you saw him knocking out people. He has 19 KOs. Well, his third opponent was 2 wins, 17 knockouts. His fourth opponent was 7 wins, 68. 2 wins, 17 losses. His fourth opponent was 7 wins, 68 losses. His fifth opponent was 5 wins, 33 losses. His seventh opponent, 3 wins, 7 losses. His eighth opponent, one win, 8 losses. His 10th opponent was 4 wins, 9 losses. And his 11th opponent, 2 wins, 33 losses. And it goes on and on and on.
Tomato cans. And they're all Mexican too. Did he fight in Tijuana? Because I saw a whole bunch of Mexican flags. I'm like, God damn.
They are. You know what?
Yeah, like this guy's not nothing but Mexicans.
Yes. So that's who he's fighting. That's who he's fighting.
Who has Santillan fought other than Rocha? Let's bring that. He hasn't fought nobody.
Hey, man, Brian.
Yeah.
Brian Norman Jr., the true Mexican assassin, huh? Fighting all the taqueros down there, man.
Yeah, they were paisitas, and I was like, God damn! But he knows how to. I like how he looks.
Knocking him out. Yes, he is.
Damn, David Haney's type in Tijuana.
Hey, that's right, Demetrio.
Oh my God.
That's right, Demetrio. You were there at that fight too, so you heard Santillan say, "Hey, tell David Contreras to go scrape up his boy, man."
Wow.
David, in all reality, man, Santillan, do we see an exciting fight? Yeah, he should win this fight, but do we see an exciting Santillan?
Yes, I think so. And I think that the Rocha built up his self-confidence, and now that he's training he trained with his father for many years. Now he's training more with Robert. So yes, I see a different Santillan. I see Santillan knocking this kid out, and I see Santillan's probably next or upcoming fight, either Barrios or Boots Ennis. Is he going to win? Barrios, I believe he will, but Boots Ennis, maybe not, but I think he'll give Boots Ennis a good fight. I think he'll give, and I'd love to see him fight Boots Ennis. He's the only one that's really there to fight, to have Boots Ennis. I mean, name somebody else at 147 right now that Crawford's gone. That would be a good fight for Boots Ennis.
Chingones is good too, no?
Chingones, yeah, that's another one. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Fight right there.
I would like to see Santillan fight Chingones, yes.
Mario Barrios, you just named him.
I like to see him. Mario Barrios, of course.
Mario Barrios. Connor Ben, the king.
Connor Ben, I forgot about him. Connor Ben too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I thought he was 154. He's going to go back to because last time he fought 154. Is he going back to 147?
I don't know. It depends how many eggs he eats, man. Depends how many. Where was he at?
How much steroids he take?
Yeah. Moving along, let's go to the main event, man. Navarrete against Super Winchick. I don't know how to spell. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He's 18-0. Navarrete, we know what Navarrete brings. That dude's a straight warrior. He's a straight gladiator. David, what do you make of this fight?
You know what? I'm a big Navarrete fan, and I didn't. I tried to do my homework on him on Dennis Berenchek. I looked at his highlights. I've never seen one of his fights, and it's basic. He's not even a. I think Mikey and I talked earlier. We were texting. You guys, we were texting. He's not a Loma, and he's not a Usyk. He's not one of those,
Ukrainians.
Ukrainian fighters. He's more flat-footed and more, left, right, uppercut. I see Navarrete, like I said, knockout, knockout. I don't
Wow.
see him. I don't see it as a great fight. Mikey, I know you did your homework on him. Maybe you could tell me a little bit more about this Ukrainian fighter.
Mhm.
Yeah, Mikey, what are we in here for? I'm not gonna sit here and lie like I know who this dude is because
I
I
don't even know
don't.
who he is.
Yeah, I
So,
don't
He's
know.
he's he's 18-0, but you did research on him, dog.
Yeah, I don't know who his opponents. I never heard of them. They could all have like 100 losses. So that's when Dave comes in. But no, from the eye test and all that, he's the poor man, low budget poor man's Lomachenko slash Usyk. He's Ukrainian. He's a switch hitter. He gives you different looks. He turns southpaw and then he goes back to conventional. And I saw some good things. That I like some good things, but he has no power, so we don't have to worry about Navarrete getting hit. Um, so I think Navarrete is going to win it probably by knockout. By knockout. Um, but this guy's a little crafty, but he's not. He's the poor man's Usyk, the poor man's uh,
okay.
what's his name?
Okay, Loma.
Yeah, Loma, the poor man's
Okay.
Loma. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I look. I'm definitely gonna favor Navarrete to win this fight big time. However, just because not knowing anything about this guy, but just knowing that he's Ukrainian, I'm gonna say this dude's gonna be a tough cookie, Holmes. I think he's
yeah,
gonna be a tough puppy, but I definitely favor Navarrete to win this fight. Navarrete brings a lot of pressure, but simply and only on the merits that this guy's undefeated and he's Ukrainian just makes me to think, Eastern Europeans, dog, they're a different breed, Holmes, and just makes me think that this guy has no quit in him whatsoever, and he's gonna be there for the entire fight, and Navarrete is gonna really have to push it. So, I think he'll make for a good fight. That's what I'm trying to say. I think it will make for a good fight, but no way do I think he's gonna win. I think Navarrete definitely wins tomorrow. So, um,
are they going for vacant belts?
yeah,
They
they're going
were.
for the
Oh,
yeah.
are they? Which belt? Because I
Yeah,
heard
I
that
think.
they were going to go for the WBC, but Crawford did not give it up, and they didn't force him to. So, is there another vacant
Oh,
belt,
really?
Cholo? That's what I read
I
earlier today. Is there another
I
one that's vacant?
what I believe I was watching the weigh-ins, and I believe they're saying the vacant. Uh, was it the IBF?
I
I'm
hope
not
so.
even really sure. I remember them talking about they're fighting for a vacant belt. Yeah,
Yeah.
Because
but
I'm looking it up right now. It doesn't say now Navarrete. It says vacant WBO lightweight title. But on Giovanni and Brian Norman, I don't see it.
okay.
But Navarrete,
Well,
yes, I see it. Vacant WBO.
all right. Somebody let us know in the chat, man. Guys, moving along to the fight on the zone tomorrow slash ESPN. Um, you got a pretty stacked card. A lot of notable names. Sergey Kovalev, the Crusher Kovalev is on the card. Frank Sanchez is on the card. George Cordina in his final fight at super featherweight. He's gonna be moving up. Joe Pataya against Breedis. That one's gonna be pretty good. I like it. But let's talk about the actual main event in Usyk versus Fury. Finally, let's remember this fight actually was supposed to take place back in December, but then Fury, got knocked down by that MMA dude. So they went ahead, pushed it, and then he got that injury or that cut above his eye. So now we're here where we're at now. David, I'll start with you, man. This is it. This is for all the marbles in the heavyweight division. I would say the two best heavyweights. Some may argue and say no, they're not the two best heavyweights, but hey, they're both undefeated. They're both champions. They're meeting up tomorrow. David, how do you see this fight?
On paper, 50-50.
Okay.
I have it. My paper, 50-50. My heart, I want Usyk to win. And if he wins, I'd like to see him knock him out, but I don't see it. I don't think he has the power to knock him out, but I would like to see him knock him out. Um, Fury going down from 282 to 262. He doesn't look muscular, but he looks a lot better. But when you lose that weight, yes, he's going to be faster. He's going to be able to move around the ring. But you know what? He also loses muscles on his legs. So, I mean, yeah, he wins some because he's going to be faster. The only way that he's going to be able to hurt Usyk is to the body. But when he goes to the body, he's so tall, so lanky, he's gonna have to bend down. And Usyk is so fast, that's when he can catch him, and I hope he catches him when he goes for the body. I see it 50-50 fight, but I want Usyk to win.
Okay. All right. Mikey, two undefeated fighters, man. A great big guy, great small guy, or is one of them not great, just good, or just uses their size? How say you in this fight? Who do you got?
Yeah, like I said, there's a saying in boxing: when a great little guy fights a good big guy, the great little guy wins. But when a great little guy fights a great big guy, the great big guy always wins. So, uh, Tyson Fury's great. Usyk is great, but I still got my money on Fury, man. He is the heavyweight. He has advantages, and Usyk has to go in and fight in the inside. But if he fights in the inside, um, he's gonna get grappled, and you know how Tyson Fury fights. He grabs you, hits you behind the head. So it depends on the referee also how he inputs himself in the fight. If they let him scrap
Mm,
and let him fight, that's Fury's fight. It depends on the ring too. Is it the small ring or a big ring? Who's the A side? So that was the questions I have, and I asked you guys. So, but yeah, man. If the referee lets Fury work, then I'm gonna give it to Fury. The disadvantage is this guy needs to fight. Usyk needs to fight in the inside, but now he's going to give him the disadvantage. But if he fights in the outside, Fury's got that beautiful stick. He can fight from the outside. That's why he's a lean machine right now. So I'm going to give it to Fury, man. I'm going to give it to Fury. Yep.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say, in my opinion, hands down, Tyson Fury is the A side. If we're gonna talk about sides,
Yeah.
he's the one that makes this pay per view. Usyk does not bring in pay per view numbers, man. It's sad, but it's true. Um, they're on the wild, wild West Coast over here. Their ring walk time should be about 3 o'clock. Okay, this to me, this is the fight where, yeah, I'm having a tough time picking a winner. I really am. It's hard for me to choose who I think is gonna win, but if I'm just going off the top of my head, just thinking about it, I would probably say Tyson Fury. Do I want him to win? Not really. You know, he starts with a lot of his mensadas, and I don't think Usyk would entertain any wrestlers or MMA fighters or anything like that. I don't think Usyk would is cut from that cloth where he would entertain any dumb matches like that. And I think he takes every single fight serious. So I would rather want him to be the champion and be in some really serious, meaningful fights without a lot of, clowning around and let me make some videos, but yet I'm not going to fight you. I'll just fight once a year or fight once every 18 months. And I'll just get on, social media and talk all kinds of massa about you, but we're not going to do anything the way Tyson Fury does. So I don't want Tyson Fury to win. Yeah, I do kind of like Tyson Fury in the sense that he does sell the fight, but all in all, I want Usyk to win. But if I had to put Fetty on it, if I had to put money on it, it'd be on Tyson Fury. I think he's gonna win. David, let me ask you this: is it gonna be an exciting fight? Is this gonna be again two undefeated fighters for all the marbles. We all remember the heavyweight championship fights of the old days. Is this going to be one of those fights, or is it going to be a boring fight?
It's gonna be a boring fight.
Mm.
It's going to be a boring fight. The referee, he's from Minnesota. I had the name because I read it on Rick Lasser. He's a good referee, and he's equivalent to the one that was on my show. Was it Thomas? He's equivalent to
Thomas
that.
Taylor.
Thomas Taylor in the boxing world nationwide. This guy's a good referee. I think he'll stop the clinching. I think that he will take points away. He's from Minnesota, like I said. He's stood up for fighters before when he hits in the back of the head. So there's a reason why there's a rematch clause. There's a reason why. And I think the reason is that I think Usyk is going to take this one, but I think Fury's going to come back because we don't want to see. I mean, these Arabs, they're willing to pay hundreds of millions of dollars to see Fury fight. What's his name? The one that Usyk fought. What's his name?
Joshua.
Anthony Joshua. People want to see that. Usyk already beat him twice. So that's why I believe there's a rematch clause because they have a feeling that if he does lose, he's going to lose one of the two fights, Usyk, because they want to make that fight between Fury and Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, there's no more money. If Usyk wins, there's no more money in Usyk versus Anthony Joshua. Nobody's gonna pay to watch that. It's got to be Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. Mikey, let me ask you, man. We all remember the great days of the heavyweight battles when heavyweights were making boxing on all the other divisions. They may have been great and everything, but heavyweights ruled the world. Giants ruled the world, man. Here, two undefeated fighters for all the belts on the line, big dog. Is this going to be an exciting fight or is it going to be boring?
I think it's gonna be an exciting fight, man. I think it's gonna be an exciting fight. Yeah, yeah. It depends on what Usyk does. Can he tame this big animal? He's 6'9". And Tyson Fury's never I haven't seen him in a boring fight lately. Maybe versus the UFC fighter. That was kind of whatever. It was still exciting though. It's for all the marbles and this little guy. This guy's only 6'3"? How tall is Usyk?
I'll tell you right now.
I think you hit it on the head. I think he's 6'3".
Yeah, dude. It's just like
That's
it's crazy.
small.
You're gonna fight a freaking 6'9", dude.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the matchup. Can Fury fight in the outside? But he's gonna give him his disadvantage, so he's gonna have to force the fight in the inside, and it's gotta be a dirty. He's gonna have to brawl. He's not gonna win a 6'9" dude with a long ass arm with long arms. He's gonna get hit with that jab. He's gonna get hit with that right hand coming behind it. Um, so he needs to go get it. He needs to go get it, and that's when it's gonna become exciting. So I think it's gonna be an exciting fight, man. They have to. Usyk has to fight in the inside. He has to fight in the inside,
Oh,
or
he
he's not
is
gonna win.
6'3". He is 6'3". He's
Dude,
short.
he's little. He's a cruiserweight
Yeah.
versus a 6'9" dude with the long ass arms.
Yeah. I look. Uh, I think it's gonna be an okay fight. I don't think it's gonna be great. I don't think it's gonna be that bad either. I
Are they
think Tyson. I
knockdowns?
think Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe Tyson Fury leans on him or kind of throws him down once or twice, but I don't think there's actual knockdowns, man. I think it goes all 12 rounds and they give it to Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury.
Um, yeah, I think that's the way it's going to go. Nonetheless, look, I'm excited. I'm glad this fight is happening.
Me too.
Finally, yeah, finally, this fight is here. And yeah, man, glad it's happening. So we'll definitely see what happens. Let me see. Fury gonna pull out magic tricks. Yeah, dirty tactics. Maybe, yeah, maybe
Yep.
so.
Hey,
Maybe
you know
so.
what the great thing about it is though, it's going to be during the day, and then at night we could watch the San Diego fights.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
So
during
I don't
the
have
day.
to have two
Right.
televisions
yeah,
on, so I could just watch that at 6 o'clock my time afternoon if it's 3 your time, and then
Versus
yeah,
at
your
8 o'clock I could start watching San Diego fights. It's
Okay.
much
yeah,
better.
Okay.
Doesn't get
yeah,
better than
yeah,
that.
for sure. Hey, gentlemen, before we wrap it up, we've come to the end. But before we wrap it up, okay, so I believe it was the IBF has mandated mandatory for Canelo in a fighter, William Skull, Cuban fighter who fights out of Germany. I don't know anything about this dude. Never heard of him. And it could be if Canelo does not face him, they might strip him from the strap. I'll leave Mikey for last. I'll leave Mike Nello Mercado last for this one.
That one's
I'll
hard.
let I'll let you go first, David. Then I'll go. But David, what's your thoughts on this, man? I mean, Canelo's a pay per view fighter. Should he just relinquish the belt? There's also talks that pay William Skull some step aside money. You could do that too, but you can only do that so much. Eventually, they have to fight this guy at some point. What's the answer here, David? I mean, do you want to see this September? Does he squeeze in some meaningless date and not have it on pay per view? Because this is not a pay per view fight, Carnan.
Hey, wouldn't it be nice, man, if Canelo says, "Yeah, I'm going to fight him. I'm going to fight two fights in September, that same night, the same night, same night," and he fights this guy. He's going to knock him out. I've never heard of the guy. I didn't even do my homework on him, but I mean, it's going to be another Yildirim. Remember when he fought Yildirim, knocked him out in
Yeah.
the third round over here in Miami? It's going to be the same thing, you know. And he fights Berlanga, all in the same night. And now people
Mm.
would want to buy it. You know what I mean? Now people would literally want to buy the pay per view. Fights Berlanga, it's not going to sell. So he says, "Hey, 2 for 1, one night." That'd be great. That's a dream come true. But in reality, give up the belts. Give up the belts.
Really?
Why give up $30 million? He's making $30 million per fight. Nobody's going to give him $30 million to fight this guy. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to give up the
Right.
belt. What's the big deal? People are still going to watch him whether he's champion or not. People could care less. It's Canelo. I mean, it's Canelo.
That
Look at
that
Garcia, Ryan
uh,
Garcia. He said it. People are going to watch me whether I'm a champion or not. It's the truth.
mm.
People are going to watch him. Give up the belt. But I'd like to see the
Oh,
2 for 1. I'd like to see that.
and by the way, I do believe Canelo would knock both of these dudes out in the same night.
I
Dude,
think it's going to be
William
Berlanga.
Skull and Berlanga, yeah, Canelo will knock them out in the same
Yes.
night, Holmes.
Yes, he would.
I think William Skull will give him a
One
harder
after
fight.
the other. Boom.
Okay, so let me go ahead and say, hey, what's up, Vince? Gule?
What's up?
JC, then Bud in December. Yeah, I mean, there's talks all over the place. So I've never heard of William Skull either, Impala. So I'll give my thoughts, man, before we let Mikey out of the cage, man, like a caged lion, Holmes.
I don't even know what to
Um,
say.
well, let me see. You know what, David? You made a great point. You made a great point. Give up the belt.
Yeah.
If it's like
I mean,
that, you know
yeah.
what? Give up the strap. You're Canelo. You are the face of boxing. You make more money than any boxer. Okay. So give up the belt. People are going to pay to see you. You're still a huge superstar. You're still a pay per view main attraction. Give up the belt. And by the way, whoever gets that belt, you can go back and get it. And that would be your motivation again. You know what I mean? So, oh, there's a strap out there. So let me go after that. But yeah, give it up. Unless I would say, look, if you want to add another date, because I don't want to see him fight this dude on Cinco de Mayo or Mexican Independence Day. I don't want to see him fight this guy for that. If you want to have a non pay per view fight some other month of the year, that's cool, but you're Canelo though. Do you really want to take a huge pay cut to keep the belt? Um, yeah, David. Just like just the way you word it right now, Canelo's probably he's above the belts.
Yeah.
The belts don't make him. He's a superstar. He's a pay per view attraction, man. So you know what? Go ahead, keep your damn belt, and whoever is becomes champion, I'm gonna go ahead and make these fights, the fights that I want to make, and next year, 2025, whoever is the IBF champion, I'm gonna go whoop his ass, and I'm gonna become champion again. I don't think it's a lose here for Canelo if he decides to just give up the belt. So, but I don't know. We'll see. If he wants to fight this guy, it should not be pay per view. You know, Canelo is a pay per view star. But Mikey, how say you with the IBF saying, like, look, we got a mandatory for you, fight this guy, or we strip you of your strap, and you are no longer the undisputed unified champion at 168 pounds.
Before Mikey answers, just remember this, Cholo, that these sanctioning bodies, they get like 3% per belt. So if Canelo fought and got paid $30 million, they're getting 3 or 5, whatever percent, every one of those sanctioning bodies. Do you think they'll ever make the IBF that money on that belt with anybody else? There's no way on earth. So they're
That
losing a
Yeah,
lot of money. Think
that
about it.
but
that's definitely a good point. Canelo could say,
Yeah,
"Okay, do you really want to take the
there's your
strap off of
belt.
me? Yeah, yeah, go ahead, take the
they
strap off
stripped
of
him
me, then,
before.
homie."
Yeah.
You know what? At Canelo's level, he can definitely say, "Go ahead, take my belt. Let's see how much feria you make without me, homie."
Nothing.
As a matter of fact, I'm not even gonna go after that belt after anymore.
Yeah.
I'm letting you guys know right now. You take this belt away from me, I'm not gonna go after it. Everything that I was saying earlier, I'll decline it because you know what? Yes, in Canelo's level, I would say strip me. Go ahead, strip me. Let's see how much money you fools make. I will not. I will never in the rest of my career go after your belt ever again. Let's see how much money you make. Mikey,
And
how
I'm
say
gonna
you,
get the
big dog?
cartel Nueva Generación to go after you.
Yeah.
Mikey,
Uh,
how say you, man?
yeah. I don't know what year I got to go back in the archives, but we all know that the IBF stripped Canelo before. They were gonna force him to fight Davidchenko, and he got stripped. He got the IBF stripped him. That's why there's a whole bunch of like panic right now on the internet. Like the IBF doesn't play. It could be the WBC could give you an extension. You could be a borracho like the Charlos and all that. You could get extensions after extension, but the IBF doesn't play. They'll snatch them. They snatched Canelo's belt before. So uh, can he pay William Scott some money? Yeah, but you have to pay the IBF. I don't know how it works, but to get some step aside money, that's why Canelo's under a lot of pressure. Is he gonna give up the belt? Most likely, I think he's gonna fight for the IBF for that belt. He's gonna fight Skull because Reynoso in an interview said he's gonna fight. They're trying to push Canelo for this year 4 times. 3 to 4 times this year. So they probably had Skull in mind, or maybe this just came up. But they Reynoso said they want Canelo to be busy and they want him to fight 4 times this year. So maybe that's one of the fights out of the 4 fights. And yeah, so there's a lot of pressure. Is Canelo going to let it go? Canelo doesn't need no belts, but the IBF doesn't care. They'll snatch it, and we're gonna
Mi-
see if
Mi-
they do.
Mikey, should he fight him in September?
No,
That's a
not in
huge.
September.
Okay.
Not in
All
September.
right.
I don't know. They need to come up with an agreement, but they got what, like 60 days, 28 days to come up with an agreement. But it shouldn't be a September, and if it is, it should be in LA or some, but the taxes, huh? Somewhere where we can watch it. It for sure has to be a free fight. Canelo has to take a pay cut, and after that, you sell us Skull, but you also sell us Canelo versus Benavides, or you sell us Canelo versus Crawford, because you know what the offer that supposedly they're giving, the Sheiks are already offering Canelo a whole bunch of money, a bag to fight Crawford up there.
Mm.
So if you sell us that, maybe we'll agree to it a little bit more. But we got to have the Benavides or at least the Crawford, which I know Canelo's gonna knock out Crawford, but I want these freaking idiots to shut up already.
And they're
So
never
if you
gonna
tell us
shut.
that, maybe I'll take it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. It'd be cool if Canelo says, like, you know what? Fine, Holmes. I won't fight pay per view, but I'll go ahead and fight this guy and just give the fans a quick little show. But at the same time, it's his career. Do you really want to go through a whole training camp at this stage of your career to fight this guy? Like,
He's not gonna
we
train.
can. No, I'm just saying, we could sit here and just say, like, yeah, just fight him and get him out of the way. But he's the one that has to train. He's the one that has to go through a training camp. He's the one that has to make the weight. He's the one that's got to do it. And do you really want to do it at this stage of career where you are the guy? You are the face, man. To fight this dude, like, if he does it, hey, my hat goes off to you, Carnan. go ahead, do it, but don't do it in September. Do it in another day. Save those dates for some big fights. So we'll
Yeah.
definitely see what happens with that. Anything else, gentlemen, before we wrap it up?
No.
All right, man. Well, one fight that I'm definitely looking forward to is Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus
This is Victor
versus
Ortiz.
Vicious Victor Ortiz, man. Shout outs to all the chingones y chingonas. Enjoy the fights tomorrow. Whatever you guys do this weekend, be safe doing it so we can come back here and do it again. Mike Zavala, my boy David Contreras, Cholo Truck, Los Tres Chingones Boxing. We'll catch you guys on the next round.